Hello everyone and welcome to the first ever tutorial video on this channel. My name is Hyderworks and I'm going to teach you how to create these beautiful light rays over your photos to make them aesthetically pleasing. First of all, there's two ways to make this type of light rays. One of them is for a bigger light source like the sun or moon on a full moon night, or the other one is made for street lamps, especially for and nighttime scenes. For now, the first picture, I'm going to create the one for the bigger light sources. So, the first step here is to put your flow and opacity to the maximum. Choose a hard brush and put the hardness on 100% if you don't have it available at hand. But if you do not see these options, go to the little gear icon over here and append default brushes, and they will automatically appear for you in this section. It's grouped as general brushes. So for the start, everything on 100%. Now create a new layer from here. Doesn't matter. Just create your new layer however you want and make the shape that I will show you right now. The smaller you make, the more variety you create in your light rays. Okay, so I'm gonna make a basic simple one so you can understand the way of making it, so you can customize it to your need. Create one single row and offset it by one, so kind of filling the middle. And for the next row, offset it like the first row you made. Okay, over here, just to fill out these empty spaces. Alright, this seems okay enough to start. Now we go to filter, go to blur and radial blur. Radial blur for you might look something like this, a round shape just continuing, but you need to put it to zoom, put it on good or best based on your PC performance, and put the amount on 100. Now the most important thing here is the direction. If I put it to the left, all the lights here will push towards the right side of my image. Alright, so I want my light rays coming from the top. As you can see, the light on her face coming from up and left, and we will do as such. So at first it's gonna look a little bit janky, but there are a couple of more steps to make it more beautiful. First of all, we're gonna hit Control T or Edit, go to Free Transform. Alright, resize it a little bit. To make it smaller, you just hold these little squares over here, and to scale it completely on both axes, you hold Alt or Command on your PC or Mac. Okay, I'm gonna bring it down a little bit, and I need to make a couple of copies. You can do that by dragging your layer, bring it to the plus icon over here, or just simply hitting Control and J, Command J on your Mac. Alright, now we need to merge them. For merging them, you can click them by holding Shift, right click, and going to merge layers, or just simply hit Control E. Control E will merge the top layer with the bottom one. So if I click it twice, it will merge it with my background. Alright, now we're gonna apply the filter once more by going to filter and using our last filter that was saved on our computer, or hitting Control and Alt F. There you go. Couple of more times. Now it's widened, and this is exactly what we need for a very big light source like the sun over here. I'm gonna bring it up a little bit and repeat the same steps. Control J to duplicate, Control E to merge. Now Control Alt F again to combine those, to bring the filter up again. Now we are going to orient it the same way that the light is hitting our subject here. So the light is coming from top and left, almost 30 degrees. So I'm gonna scale it up and rotate it a little bit. And that's it. This might look a little bit exaggerated, but it depends on what type of mood you're going for. Maybe you want to make it more dramatic, so this needs to be blown out. Or if you want to tone it down a little bit, you can either put it on overlay, which kind of disappears because the image is completely blown out on some places, so it doesn't show itself very well. Or you can put it on a screen and bring down the opacity a little bit. Now, as you can see, these edges are a little bit rough because the limitations of the blur filter not able to move past the edges around the pictures. So just add a mask on it, turn it to black. You can use X on keyboard to change your foreground and background colors. Use X to switch between black and white and bring down the flow a little bit so you have more control over your layer. And that's it. So this was for our big sized light sources like the sun, a full moon. Mm, I don't have any more examples for bigger lights. Maybe a comet passing by, I don't know. So the other one is for more, hold on, more less bigger objects like this light post over here. So I just need to edit this a little bit to make it look like a nighttime scene. And let me add a color grade to it and a little bit of exposure. Go here. This exposure filter does exactly what a DSLR camera would. So lowering the exposure is same as like turning down the exposure on your own camera. So after these adjustments, I will create a new layer. And this one is much more simpler from the previous one I showed you. Hit L on your keyboard to bring up the lasso tool, polygonal lasso tool. If you can't see it, it might be on default, like the first day you install Photoshop, it's gonna either bring this magnetic one, which kind of sucks for precision working, or this selection brush tool, which I do not recommend any of these. The most perfect one is polygon tool for this type of situation, or you can use a little bit of fancy one like the pen tool, but polygon will do for now. So we're gonna look at our light source. You see there is a skewed square over here, so I'm gonna pick from the edge over here. The furthest away is this one. Okay, I want to go out. So depends on what you believe this guy will put out light. Sorry, my Photoshop is tweaking right now. All right, so pick out the outermost edge, bring it down, zoom out so you can see better. You can zoom out just by holding Alt and the scroll wheel on your mouse. Okay, and if you want to move your image, hold space and you can move it. Now, I want to see where I can put this. I think here is great. So hold Shift to make it a straight selection like this, or 45 degrees or 90 degrees. Hold it over here and pick out, zoom in a little bit, use space for dragging the outermost edge again on the opposite side. Now it has been selected. So first of all, we're gonna fill this layer up with pure white or with a different color. So mostly these street lights are orangey hue, so I'm gonna pick this pure orange over here. Maybe it's a little bit too much. I'm gonna change it a little bit, make it less orangey. I think this is a good spot over here. Maybe a little bit yellower. Yes, over here. Okay, I'm gonna fill this guy up with my creamy color. So Control D to deselect, or you can use deselect over here, or if you're a madman, go to select and deselect. Now the next step is very important. Go to filter, blur gallery this time, and field blur. Field blur gives you the options to control couple of blur points. So the first one closer to the source usually is the sharpest point of the light. So I'm gonna bring this point over here and I'm gonna give it a little bit of blur, like 2 or 3 pixels. That depends on the resolution of your pictures. So mine is 2800 by 3200 pixels. So if you have a higher pixel density on your image, you might need to bump this up to 7 or 10 maybe. I think 5 is fine for now. And the beauty of this filter gallery here is you can add multiple points to add blur. So the second one will be at the very bottom. I'm going to bump it up all the way. See, it's already taking shape. Now I'm going to zoom in over here to see if our first point is blurred enough. Hold for it. And I think, oh yeah, this is perfect. It's gonna come a little bit lower here. So add a little bit more to fade it in, and it is perfect. And hit OK to render it. After that, you are pretty much done. But if you want to make this a little bit more realistic, you can go and put it on overlay and multiply it a couple of times, which creates a not even effect. So the best thing is to put it on normal again, add a layer mask, and go to your gradient. Gradient is over here, or just click G on your keyboard. Put it on classic gradient, I prefer that, and put it on linear, and go back to your layer mask, check if it's on or off, and click and drag upwards because light fades downwards, and add it a little bit more, and it is perfect. So you have the center part, which is always brighter, and you have the distorted outlines of the light. And maybe bring it down a little bit more. Yep, that's perfect. And to give it a better looking effect, you can create a new layer, hit your brush, bring sample the color of it, the one that you made over here, and create a halo effect over it. So bring down the flow, couple of clicks here, and a little bit lower opacity, and we're done. So this is how to make light rays for a small source lights and bigger light sources. Thank you for watching. I will see you in the next one.